who would you give 1 month in? Who would you give the MVP in the league to?
Oh boy, in the league, that's a tough one. But I think I'll say when it comes to the 49ers, I can give you that answer.
Yeah, for and the Niners have two guys right there in CMC and Purdy that are MVP candidates, for the league as well. But who's the Niner MVP?
Yeah, I would say right now the Niner MVP is Purdy. McCaffrey's right there as well. I can understand the argument that you make for both, but I think if you were in a game and you had to win, you're much better off having. I think that they'd be okay with Purdy. I think they'd be struggling more if he was off the field than if Christian McCaffrey was off the field. So for that reason, I think when it comes to value to the team and their ability to still win, I would say that it goes with Brock Purdy. But it's hard to argue against McCaffrey too, because he does impact so much. You see it on the film when it comes to the passing game. His impact in the passing game, helping create space, is a big piece of it. But you kind of get that a little bit with Debo, because of his ability to switch around. And then, last week you see Purdy, you see McCaffrey leave and Mason come in and boom, right off the bat, they throw the ball to him for a nice gain. So I lean more towards Purdy when it comes to that. I would give him the edge over McCaffrey right now at this point.
It's funny. If Purdy keeps the current pace, he will complete 72% of his passes, throw for 4,300 plus passing yards, 21 touchdowns, no picks. He's got 0 picks right now. And the Niners will be the top seed in the NFC. And it's going to be very difficult to keep Purdy out of the MVP vote, at least the conversation, if he's got those kinds of numbers. But a buddy of mine said, Krug, you know as well as I that Purdy's not as good as his numbers. And I said, what? Why is he not as good as his numbers? And he's like, well, look at the talent around him. And he's got Shanahan, and look at this. It's a lot of it's just the talent around him. But, you're talking about a guy who leads the league in QBR. He leads the league in adjusted yards per attempt. The 49ers have had double-digit leads in the fourth quarter in each of their first 4 games. And to me, I would say it's the opposite. I would say Purdy is better than his numbers. Why? Because Brock Purdy is tied for dead last in the NFL in passes thrown in the fourth quarter. They're getting to 3 quarters, the end of the third quarter with a double-digit lead, and they're running the heck out of the ball in the fourth quarter. They're calling off the dogs. They're going for the W. He's not attacking down the field in the air in the fourth quarter. 32nd in the league in passes thrown in the fourth quarter, to me, paints a very vivid picture. To me, it says that Brock Purdy's actually he's actually better than his numbers. That's how I see it.
Yeah, the whole argument of the talent around him and all those kind of things. I mean, I don't know. Didn't Joe Montana win the NFL MVP in like 88 and 89 or 89 and 90? I mean, he had the best wide receiver. Talent. He was thrown to the best wide receiver of all time, right? And he also had Roger Craig, and he had just guys all over the field, right? Brent Jones was a heck of a tight end. He had John Taylor, who was a really good number 2 wide receiver. They just had talent all over the field. I mean, Steve Young, he was an MVP multiple times. He was throwing to the same guys, and he had Ricky Watters, who was Ricky Watters. What he was able to do was very similar to what we see out of Christian McCaffrey. Look at what Ricky Watters did when he played for Mike Shanahan in 1994. His running and his receiving ability. I mean, if we're going to knock quarterbacks because of the talent around them, then we should just give the MVP award if it's going to be a quarterback award. Hand it to Justin Fields. He's playing with a crappy roster and playing good. Is he better? I mean, that's kind of what we're getting at here. This is a discussion that I get tired of, because it's every quarterback that plays at a high level has guys around him that help him play well. I mean, Stephon Diggs is a huge playmaker up in Buffalo. Pick a team, any quarterback, and he's got guys that are around him that help him make plays. They don't do it on their own.